Building capacity for the future while preparing for the flood. A reminder that there is always still hope. Essential components. School discipline must be established and enforced. School culture and climate is perceived as a positive learning environment to parents and the students. Academic accountability must be present at all grade levels and it must be measurable. External assistance must be given at schools with a large population of poorly performing teachers. The million-dollar question is, if the state of Texas is on a red train that is traveling 60 miles an hour and increasing 5 miles an hour for the next 3 years, and the district is on a gray train that is traveling 50 miles an hour, how fast will the gray train have to travel over the next 3 years in order to catch and surpass the red train? Unifying our view of singleness of purpose. District alignment and singleness of purpose. Evaluate the failing schools by teacher performance and tier your support within the failing schools based on this data. All support is given to schools that are failing or almost failing. Rising standards mean that a school that barely passes is still in the red zone. Create a first and second grade STAR test that has the same weight and accountability as the test for the third, fourth, and fifth grades so that all teachers are measured and held accountable. Align the test to the curriculum and the curriculum to the test. Regular meetings about progress of primary grades, and these meetings must involve courageous conversations. Class size reduction at failing schools. On-site literacy and math specialists for the primary grade levels at failing schools along with the current specialists for the third, fourth, and fifth grades. We will not win this race without change. Whatever plan that is put in place will not make the necessary gains unless it immediately brings us to a high rate of speed. Any gradual approach will be ineffective for long-term goals. Immediate change will require outside assistance. At failing schools, our teacher workforce will not get the job done, and we have to stop expecting them to. There are not enough highly qualified teachers in each grade level to succeed. If we are able to make sustainable gains, it will be because we accepted some of our current realities and put things in place to accommodate our shortcomings while we discuss means to create sustainable change over time. In most schools, the highly effective teachers are placed in grades 3 through 5 because those are the tested grade levels, and the underperforming teachers are placed in the primary grades, creating a cyclical disaster where children are continually coming into the third grade without the necessary skills to pass the third grade STAR test. With the lack of rigor, this model was successful in the past, but with the coming changes, it will eventually fail. Everything begins with literacy. There will never be sustained growth or change in this situation if we stay with yesterday's methods and systems in hopes to reach tomorrow's goals. Everything in life has a bell curve. Our students are on a bell curve. Lawyers are on a bell curve. Doctors are on a bell curve. And yes, teachers are on a bell curve. There will always be your low performing teachers. There will always be your average performing teachers. And there will always be that select group of teachers that are truly just highly performing. We must structure our system to accommodate the bell curve while we figure out how to deal with it. Special announcement. The district is in need of a booster shot. STAR mode must begin in August with small group pullouts and class size reductions. Create literacy and math STAR standard assessments for K through 2 that principals, specialists, and teachers are held accountable for. Provide an on-site literacy and math coach for the primary grades at all failing schools. The normal literacy specialist will still be assigned to the school to continue the support for grades 3 through 5. Immediately after the second administration of the Reading and Math Star, all specialists will go into star mode with the subsequent grade levels until the last day of school. For example, as a fifth grade science specialist, I would begin working with the fourth grade students on science for the remainder of the year. Specialists will teach whatever TEKS were currently the lowest for the current year. No time for summer for students who didn't leave prepared for it. Tier 3 second, third, and fourth graders should be required to attend reading summer camps if they are below grade level and cannot read, or partner with some summer reading program and allow them to use our facilities so they are in the neighborhoods of the children who need them and require certain students who cannot read on grade level to attend. Another possibility is to create an extra incentive for highly performing teachers to come and assist at schools that need the summer help. Changing our mindsets. All on-campus specialists will be held accountable to this standard. If they are assigned to the campus for primary grades only, then there are to be no second grade students that go to the third grade below grade level. We must also focus on the creation and the molding of the gifted child. We must teach them how to think and empower them at a young age to become greater. We need to begin measuring their growth in the primary grades just like the state accountability will do in their third to fourth grade transitions. Our efforts will show immediate impact the following year, but they will not be sustained unless a plan is put in place to continue to hire, train, and recruit staff that is able to handle the task. Teachers have to be removed and incentives have to be put in place to help with retention, especially in our poverty-enriched schools. If we are not willing to support our principals in the removal of our underperforming teachers, then as soon as we pull out our support, the district will quickly slide back into its old state. Excuses are the nails that are used to build the houses of failure. No more excuses. Behavioral intervention specialists. Many of our children are out of control. They are disrespectful and they are hindering the education of the majority of the students across the district. We have a limited time each day and that time must be maximized. We must stop hindering the masses by trying to accommodate the few. There needs to be an on-site behavioral intervention specialist to deal with students who refuse to learn at failing schools. Stop making excuses for our children and telling them that they have issues, and start telling them that they have a choice to control themselves. Stop hurting the majority. We either need to reinstate the possibility for corporal punishment, or we need to come up with some alternative that the children respect. There is no fear of alternative school or suspension. We are giving our children mid-year vacations and they return twice the behavioral issue that they were before they left. It's fun to stay at the YMCA. It's fun to stay at the YMCA. YMLA model plus the culture intervention specialist. We have models within the district of cultures that promote educational change and student achievement. Let's use them at the elementary level. Gender-based divisions help reduce distractions and increase the amount of effective instruction. If we can have behavior intervention specialists who are designed to affect the adverse behaviors, then why can't we have culture intervention specialists that are there to change the culture of the school that will in turn help the behavior issues? If schools were not created for African American children, is it possible that our methods for reaching African American parents might be ineffective as well? Sustainability begins at home with our parent outreach reform. Do not recreate the wheel. Use the infrastructure that is already in place, the PTA and the Fort Worth After School Program. Parents plus teachers equals the association. In our efforts to bring about change, we must change the thinking about education within our communities. The school is the central hub for communication to our parents. Target events that are culturally attractive. Every event needs to have a targeted, achievable educational outcome, such as parent portal support, report card pickup, parent conferences, Fort Worth ISD apps. If we cannot get them to intrinsically desire to achieve, we must use what they love and are intrinsically motivated to do to get them to do what we need them to do to be successful in life. Plan for the future. A few possible events with a few possible targeted goals. Donuts for dads, muffins for moms, daddy-daughter dance, grandparents reading day, parent workshops, school sports. Possible targeted goals could be parent portal sign up, Fort Worth ISD app day, report card pickup, behavior check day, see my child's portfolio of work day, sign up to volunteer, and from J's to A's, our sports initiative. Have an educational goal to achieve every time parents are on campus. Fort Worth After School Program. Our community is targeted towards sports and entertainment. The PTA can provide the entertainment and Fort Worth After School can provide the sports. Create a Fort Worth After School Sports League. Children cannot play without certain levels of parental involvement to be determined. Every student must have a weekly behavior chart that must be signed by each of his or her core teachers and special teachers and administration. Every student must have a 77 or higher in every core class in order to play, raising the standard for what is acceptable. J's and A's. Our Fort Worth After School Sports. There are multiple things that we can do with our Fort Worth After School Sports program to encourage morale and to use it as a behavioral incentives. We could have Jersey Day for the students on the team, posted statistics with classroom grades in the hallways, allow other students to get involved in running the concession stand. Cheerleading squads can be created with the same criteria. Fort Worth After School Sports page added to the school and Fort Worth ISD webpage with updated pictures about outstanding student athletes, with student being the primary word. Children cannot participate if parents do not come to the informational and if they do not have predetermined levels of parental involvement. We play for fun. Any behavioral problems, whether they are an adult or a child, will be removed and banned. $1 or $2 admission could be charged to the games to pay for any team needs. Living for the future while looking for the future. In our impoverished areas, parental knowledge of early childhood development is minimal at best. Our children are entering kindergarten undeveloped. So what can we do? I suggest that we expand the pre-K capacity at all Tier 3 schools and provide for an extra class if necessary. Allow the behavior intervention specialists to begin working with the children from the beginning, with a strong focus on behavioral modification and basic skills that they should be receiving in their home environments. The more time that they are in our hands, the more time that we can mold them to become what we desire them to become. In conclusion, drastic situations will always require drastic measures in order to overcome them. The degree that we are willing to make the choices that no one else is willing to make is the degree that we will see what others call impossible turn into reality. At the end of the day, it all comes down to what we choose to do to determine the direction that we are going to go.